Greetings and God bless. I just wanted to do a video about online classes. So, this is a big thing. This is a big like income maker now. People don't want to work the horrible 9 to 5 jobs. It's so interesting because influencers that are flourishing, they're bashing entry level workers that don't want to work crappy jobs. But those influencers would not want to work at the donut shop, at the grocery store, at the gas station, but they want somebody else to do those horrible jobs. But, anyways, I wanted to do a video about there's all these online trainings, certifications, success courses, and I want to suggest avoid doing online trainings. If you're going to spend, usually these things cost like $3,000, $4,000, $10,000. And yeah, they may give you the fire hose of information, stuff that you couldn't learn and assimilate in 10 years, but they give it to you in a year. And that's their excuse for overcharging you, basically, and underserving you. So, what I would recommend is if you are going to make a big investment, do something locally. Invest in your local university, community college, even if there's like a local vocational massage school or a local beautician training or something like that. Invest locally. What you need to be successful is other human beings that know you, that you see day in and day out. These online trainings are a scam, in my opinion. They do not deliver. The people that are giving it, they do not understand the value of the money, because they do not deliver. And compared to 20 years ago, $4,000 was you got good service for $4,000. Like if you took a class or something like that. And now, because people are hiding behind the computer and they've got their excuses and they have their family crises during the class, and you're all supposed, the students are supposed to be like accommodating to the teacher that's doing whatever. Anyway, what I just you're if you are in a rut, um, and somehow you have a windfall, do not invest. Avoid investing in online classes. Okay, look for something locally, and there's going to be something locally. And if only, if you're out in the boonies somewhere, okay, but find something that you can at least visit and meet the people once a month or something like that, that's in a university, whatever, near you, or something that you can eventually drive to. But folks, stop buying these online courses, because basically these online courses are expecting you to teach yourself. And if you were able to teach yourself, you would have done this already. You wouldn't be wanting to spend $4,000 or $10,000, right? You're wanting is somebody to hold your hand, moral support in the group to help you keep accountable and be uplifted, and just get moral support. But these online classes are not doing that. It's this huge scam, and so many self-help people are doing this, and because that's what they were told to do. Like they paid too much money to their mentors, and then their mentors are like, oh, now you have to do this scam that we did to you, that you're brainwashed, you've got this Stockholm syndrome. Like, I did this one marketing training, and the lady was paying like $56,000 a year to her mentor. $56,000 a year. That's insane, and she was doing the law of attraction, and somehow she was able to make it because she let people know that was her. And that's another thing that gets me, is people will have this really expensive lifestyle, and whether it's, I've got a bunch of kids, right, I've got all this money I need to make, and then they're trying to guilt you, so buy my product because I have 5 kids, buy my product because I have to pay $57,000 to my mentor. Buy my product because I want to live the life that, is my dream. And the thing is, not everybody, I mean, it just boggles my mind. There's this assumption and there's this entitlement that people have. And of course, what I'm trying to say is don't buy their product. If that person wants to have, pay $56,000 or have, like live rich, uh and you know have their kids have the best of everything, well, they can have somebody else pay for that. You don't have to pay for that. So instead, invest locally. Find, it doesn't even have to be a university. Maybe find somebody who's an expert in your topic. You could apprentice at a woodworking place or something like that. Like whatever it is that your passion, like it does not, just don't be online. Find people, see if you get along with them, and pay to be taught by somebody local, and somebody who will value you, that will value your money, because these online people, like they're just raking it in. They're just like money, money, mine, mine. I did my web design, my SEO, and I've got, I mean, it's just despicable. I really despise, and I'm talking about online health coach training. Like it's just a scam. And there's a lot of people, that are just posers. They're just like, this is my sales scheme. I'm going to look like I'm a fitness person, but I'm just selling a dream. And if that's your thing, then of course go do it. It's a free country. If you're inspired to be a fake person selling a fake persona, that's acting, that's whatever. But if you're a sincere person that is looking for to be taught and to gain knowledge and expertise, don't do it online. You just cannot, do it enough. And the online courses will tell you how it's great, and they'll have testimonies of people who lie or were able to extract what they needed, or maybe they didn't even need very much. Um, and so, just the online courses are scams, in my opinion. Go to, and again, like universities, you're going to have problems there too. I have heard about people, their documentation gets lost, their applications get lost. So there's hassles there too. That is true. But um, I did an online training, and there were hassles, and there was no accountability. You couldn't even, the person wouldn't even, respond to emails, and you could hardly get them on the phone. So, but I do think it's better to invest locally, even if they're, I mean, of course, vet the school that you're going to, that, hopefully they're not scamming their students. Although, yes, that does happen. But I think it's just good to, it's better to invest locally, and look into who you're wanting to go to school with, or get an apprenticeship, or get whatever kind of certification and training. um, that's my opinion. And yes, online you can really get a refined kind of thing, like you're a comic book writer and blah blah blah. And I'm just saying, if you're somebody who needs moral support, emotional uh, connection, personal connection, and business and success connections, you need to meet people in person. I do not, that the online platform is not going to work for you unless you're incredibly charismatic and successful already. If you're successful already, people are going to beat a path to your door. If you're already rich and everything, people are like, oh, I'm going to do everything I can to work with you because I want to get, your rich vibe. I want to be able to sell you my products, or get your connections. So that's my thought. If you're somebody on a fixed income that gets a windfall, look for something locally to take classes with, and make real in person connections that way, because online it's just a scam. You're just having to teach yourself. There's and then when things don't work out, you're blamed and you feel like crap. It is incredibly demoralizing. I went to a college where you create your own course of study, and I've done you know like motivated myself, you know, uh, and I know how to do it. But these online classes, they give you too much information to get through, so you get kind of distracted and blindsided, because you're getting like 10 years of information in this limited amount of time, and that's not helpful. But they justify, well, it is helpful because I'm giving you all this information, and you should wade through it. It's just this it's like abuse or something like that. um and so when you cannot deliver, like you can't, um like you just don't have study skills, or I don't know what this if I knew what it was, I would have done it and been successful. But I've done a lot of classes, and I've been, reasonably happy with some online classes that I've taken. But there's others that really hurt my feelings. Like, it made me feel so disappointed in myself and then in them. And I think because these courses weren't developed properly, and they know it, and they just ignore it because they're getting their profits, and the student is left high and dry. So, and that's the worst part of it, is that when you pay for these classes and you do your best and you're doing a lot, you spend the majority of your time doing the classes, and you don't get the result that you intended. You're worse off than when you started, because now you feel like a failure, or that there's something wrong with you. Um, and like when you're in person, there's just more stimulation, there's more um, just things to balance the difficulties out, balance out the setbacks, and maybe the setback is a gift, and so that is my thought. So hopefully that makes sense. Avoid online classes, because they're not going to be able to deliver. They're not going to be able to facilitate you as you need. These people who are doing online classes are not trained facilitators, and they don't care. They don't have to care because they got your money, and most people are too compliant and shut down. They won't ask for a refund. Um, and the worst part is that it makes you feel bad about yourself, because the whole setup does not really work effectively. And the teachers probably know that. The people who are giving the classes probably know that, but they just tell themselves, oh, it's those people's fault. Oh, I have five um, perfect students who love my class. I mean, that's just what people in power do. They just delude themselves, um, and everybody else is the yes man to uh, the main head honcho. um, and and then the student who who came with good intentions to the training and wasn't successful, the student just can feel really bad about themselves and inadequate, when in fact the structure was not properly designed because the people who are doing these online classes are not designers. They're not, and they assume that they can be, um, because their mentors did whatever. And what worked for those people is not going to work for the masses. And that's why maybe these online trainings, they need somebody more effective, to design classes and design facilitation. And that's the thing is, I would say also, the past like 20 years, the uh, there was such a decline in the quality of group facilitation that I have noticed. And I lived on the East Coast and the West Coast, and it was both in New York, or New England and California. There's a very educated, community or demographic there, and maybe that's why. But like nowadays, I'll be in a class, nobody, the facilitator does not go around the room, does not ask each person to introduce themselves. There's never name tags. And I can't remember like what else, but it's just so disappointing because, you're just you're just treated like, disposable and irrelevant, and they're just to listen to the speaker, and yeah, it's just not really meaningful if you don't get to say, hi, my name is, and I'm here to learn about Legos or whatever. So, I think it's, invest locally, and also just make sure that, the class that you're taking is like has some experienced people. And I would say like go for people who are experienced, like 20 some year old people. Number one, like people in their 20s and 30s, so they've had a lifetime of being on medication, parents who are on medication, so no emotional, very little emotional awareness, little emotional intelligence, um, playing video games, uh, just like they don't they're even more immature and emotionally stunted than like if you're in your 40s or 50s, you've got more life experience and you've got more emotional development. And strangely, like these 20-year-olds have these jobs as like counselors, and they don't even have life experience. And I'm not bashing sincere people, but a 20-year-old, a rich 20-year-old woman is not going, or a well-off 20-year-old woman who's, you know, trying, like making it on her own, is just not going to have much to offer. Just honestly, she doesn't have the experience and she doesn't have the emotion, the wisdom of life. But those are the people that I'm noticing in like, uh, like support kind of positions, for like people who are struggling like with emotional stuff or whatever. It's like where and it's ageism, because employers don't want to hire somebody who's 60 years old, or 50, or 70, or 50. They want to hire somebody new, um, who I guess maybe will be compliant, I guess. But yeah, we lose out when we don't have a mature adult, um, facilitating. And yeah, so I would go, like, if you are going to get a training, I would go for somebody who has more experience. And of course, there's exceptions to the rule. There might be some really wise 17-year-old who's teaching people how to grow vegetables, and more power to them. But um, I just think that humans have devolved over the past 20 some years. And I just do not think that, a 20-year-old is going to, um, lead the way. And I also don't think like emotionally stunted people, because I have taken classes with people who are, you know, in their 40s to maybe 60s. And I gotta say, now that I'm thinking about it, like there's some really emotionally stunted older people as well. But they were in these online trainings. So I would really try to work with somebody who has experience every day to day, working with the public, working with students, that enjoys it, or that just is capable. Because these online classes, there is a reason why people self-select to teach an online class. And I think it's because they don't have good people skills, and a brick and mortar place would not hire them. Um, so those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching. God bless.